Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Hey, so what do you think Jishnu, Dinkar and I have in common? Well, it's all that we are solid underachievers. But if you like the opposite, which is that of a superachiever, then you should definitely check out the Vishal Gondal Show, where Vishal, the host who I just named, and is also in the title of the show, The Vishal Gondal Show, interviews superachievers like Ronnie Screwwala, a great superachiever, Amish Tripathi, another great superachiever. So, if you're an achiever and would like to become a superachiever, then you should probably check out The Vishal Gondal Show. Hey everybody, welcome to an episode of the Geek Fruit podcast. This week I am Tejas. Most weeks I am Tejas. But I also have, that's what I was trying to say. This week I have Dinkar. Hi Dinkar.
What up, fam?
And I also have Navin, our producer, also on the episode today.
Yes, and sometimes a man has no name either.
Oh, like
Some weeks.
Some weeks.
Some weeks.
Yeah. That was a Game of Thrones thing?
It was, yeah.
Nice.
But no one knows.
Oh God, let's not push the reference. Okay, cool. So this week we're going to be talking about a topic that Dinkar, you brought up. Why did you bring this topic up and what is it?
I don't know when inspiration struck me, but I feel like we are not haters. We are lovers.
We are lovers.
We're positive people.
We're lovers, not fighters.
Well, yeah, we're lovers, we're not fighters. So I found a clip from Speed Racer.
Okay.
Out of the blue.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a good movie.
It's an amazing movie.
But it was hated so much when it came
It
out,
is
and
hated.
it still
It's currently
gets a lot of
hated.
hate. It's currently
Yeah.
hated. It's a weird one. But that just inspired me to think of what are some other movies that got a lot of hate when they came out, and possibly still do, but we still enjoy.
All right. So before we begin
Unfairly
this,
hated movies.
Yeah, before we begin this this topic, I'm sure we all have a selection of films. Some of them
An
may
assortment.
overlap. Yes, some of them may overlap. But let's try and put a format to this, right?
All right.
So let's say you have to name your movie, obviously, and then obviously while you defend it, you can tell us why, obviously, on an overall sense, why you think it's a why you don't think it's a terrible film, why you liked it very much. There may be a personal reason for it. There may not. But also, if you can bring up a scene in the film which you think can elicit that same reason, why you think it is spectacular when the world does not,
Yeah.
then that would be great as well.
A game changer of a scene.
A game, let's call it. What is the game
What is the
changing
game
scene?
changer scene?
From,
All right.
And you know what? I'm looking at my list. I cannot think of them from each, but I'm going to try my
Thought
best.
that
I'm going to try my best.
What
okay?
if in the process of defending a movie, you suddenly realize, oh wait, this movie sucks?
Well, that may be. Then we'll
It
come to
may
some
well
more
be the
interesting
case, yeah.
conclusions. I doubt
About
it would
ourselves.
be about ourselves more than the movies themselves. But let us start with Naveen.
All right.
Naveen, why don't you tell us what your first movie is?
Cool. I have like this 4 movies written down here.
You can go. Let's try the first one.
Okay, cool. So the first one is Transformers.
Transformers,
No.
more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Okay, are you talking about Transformers
The
1?
one, the
Well,
Michael Bay.
But that film was very well received.
Okay, then I should
As in,
go
it was a
with-
box office hit.
It was a
Sure.
huge hit. I still like that film. I thought it was fine.
I think it's the only defendable one of the Transformers
Yeah,
films.
I think it was fine.
2 onwards disasters.
Cool.
1,
then
okay.
this has been nullified.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so my first movie is
Yes.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones.
Oh, interesting
Ah,
choice.
yes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't particularly take to the film.
No one
but
did. A lot of people
yeah.
have a lot of things to say
All
about
right,
the movie.
let's talk about that film.
I enjoyed the movie. Like, as in, I was not aware of the whole Indiana Jones lore for a while when I was growing up.
Okay.
And then I caught on to the movies, and then when I watched them, this movie was just coming out. So it kind of like
Oh.
overlapped with that. So I was like, oh, they have recreated the spirit of Indiana Jones, and I really enjoyed that.
Right.
Except for the fact that the whole nuclear bombardment scene and he escaping from the
Honestly,
fridge.
In a fridge.
I was fine
Yes.
with that.
That was the most outlandish thing. Even I would say that.
No, the most outlandish scene, everybody will say yes to this, is the Tarzan scene where
yeah.
Shia LaBeouf
Shia LaBeouf.
swings from, vine to vine. I think that was a bit outlandish.
Yeah.
That was okay. Here's actually, sorry, let's append the format. Okay, if we
That
don't
just
like the
happened to me. I
film,
just realized Shia LaBeouf is in that. Like, now I'm thinking about it.
Do you like Shia LaBeouf?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Not in that movie, at least. Like
All
he's
right.
just very caricaturish.
Do you like him in any movie?
I do. I think.
In,
Well, he did name Transformers. I think you secretly like Shia LaBeouf.
In
by the way.
Nymphomaniac, I liked him a lot.
I've not seen the second one. I saw the first one.
He's a weird one.
Yeah, but I think.
I liked him in Even Stevens.
What have I liked him in? I think I liked him in Transformers. I think he was fine.
Eagle Eye, he was.
Eagle Eye was
good in.
nice.
Eagle Eye was nice.
Yes.
Cool. Coming back to this, so
Yes.
the scene that really defined it for me was the bike chase scene that happens,
Right.
And
Yes,
with
I
them
do
like
remember it.
them fooling people around, and that was like bringing the spirit of Indiana Jones back,
Yeah.
and him still being so old but still managing to kick ass at that age kind of thing,
Yeah.
And it's an out and out tribute to the character. Let's not even the new one that's going to come out,
Yeah.
will obviously derive a lot from the original movies,
Right.
But you see the tropes are not as repeated. They're trying to go for something new, like the
Yeah.
whole ant scene also.
I love that scene. I was just going to bring that up as one
So
of my
like
favorite
them
scenes.
killing the Nazis like very systematically,
Yeah,
and fire
yeah,
ants are like a big part of the South American legacy. So like
Yeah.
why not use them like that? So
Yeah.
they're pretty nicely constructed for me.
Okay, we might be spoiling this movie, but what did you think of the ending?
Hold on, wait. I haven't seen Indiana Jones.
What?
And the kid
Yes, and Navin just convinced me, so I think I will.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I never bothered. I
Have
don't
you?
know why.
You watched Indiana Jones?
Yeah,
I'm
of
sure.
course, but
How
I-
did you miss this one?
Kate Blanchett plays a.
She
plays
is the best thing in the
Yeah,
movie.
she's in the movie,
Kate
she's
Blanchett's
I
another-
know
great.
I just never got around to it, and then I never felt the urge.
Oh.
Maybe it was the shyness of it all, but
And
I
there are
just didn't-
moments in the movie again like they refer to him being old. For example, he'll swing with the
Yeah.
hunter,
Yeah.
and then swing halfway and then not be able to carry himself and just crash back, and then
right.
he's like, "Damn, I'm old." You know, it's like the self-referential kind
So
of way.
I did.
Maybe this is why I didn't watch it. So that's interesting, but
Yeah.
I never felt the need to you don't need what's Indiana Jones up to now that he's old
What?
kind
Of course
thing.
I would
Why?
want that.
I would
I would
watch
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because the three Indiana Jones films are obviously existed. Then in the 90s, I don't know if you recall, there was a young Indiana Jones TV show that they made where it was basically old Indiana Jones, like this actor narrating all these tales of his youth.
young Indiana
Yeah, of
Jones.
young Indiana Jones. And there was a good actor who played him, and it ran for like a few seasons, and it was, really
a
good.
TV cast.
Yes, and Harrison Ford does make an appearance in the show. He does cameo in it, and I thought that was always interesting because
As who?
as well,
As Indiana
Yes,
Jones?
as
Because there's
middle-aged-
already an old
middle-aged.
Indiana
no,
Jones.
he
and a
plays
young
like a middle-aged one. And here's
Yeah,
the
the
thing.
transitioning one.
Yeah, the transitional one. But
Right.
here's the thing. The cool thing about Indiana Jones is when we find Indiana Jones in the first movie, in Raiders, right? He's already a successful professor and he is an archaeologist. And we see him kind of in media res of
Yeah.
his own life, you know?
Exactly.
So it was interesting to see what happens before. And we also kind of want to see what happened, after. And one of the things that I did enjoy about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is that they brought back Marion Ravenwood,
Yeah.
who is his first love from
yeah,
Raiders.
yeah.
So I thought that was cool to kind of tie it in together. So
Cool.
I mean, I appreciate it.
I
I'll
will
watch
check it out and
There
report
is going
back
to
to
be
you.
there is going to be one more, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're working on
A
one.
continuation, or is it a reboot situation?
I mean, none of the chapter they all felt like chapters. They're not really
Yeah.
a
No, but will it? Are we
sequelize this
rebooting
one?
with like a Chris Pratt as Jones situation?
Oh no, it's Harrison Ford.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, and is Steven coming back?
Who?
Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Your first name
Steven,
is-
yo.
I thought even Steven. No, is Spielberg come back? I'm sure he will.
I don't know if
Otherwise he wouldn't do
Shia
it.
LaBeouf will do anything in Hollywood now. He's gone down
He's
a dark
become
path.
he's that black sheep of the family now, of the Joneses family.
By
I
the way,
think,
going back to the younger Indiana Jones reference, right? River Phoenix played him in the second movie.
In the third movie.
In the third movie,
Yeah.
and then now he's gone.
He passed away
Yeah.
short, not long after that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Oh, good actor. I
You
mean,
should
that
watch,
first intro is one of my favorite scenes in that entire saga. Is that whole thing where basically one of the guys who he's chasing to kind of get this artifact from, he just basically he says, you fought well. He loses basically. He's like, you fought well, but you don't always lose. And he gives him the Indiana Jones hat, which kind of becomes like his thing.
Yeah.
Which that's my favorite movie. Also, out of the three, the one with, I mean. Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery,
Yeah,
yeah.
great. All right, sweet. That was a good installment.
spirited defense,
Nice,
yes.
a very good defense. Dinkar,
Yeah.
what is Prey? Your choice.
I will pray my choice upon you. The thing is, I also have 4 movies, and I
I have like
have
9.
This, I know. I boiled it down to 4, and I feel this like need to defend all of them, but all right. Let's, to start with, go to Speed Racer, since I've
Okay,
already brought it up
yes.
at the top of the thing.
Speed Racer. I was
This-
also on my list, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, because we both love that movie.
But I
Navin,
do
you've seen
not. I
it?
do not like it.
No?
I
You didn't
watched
like it?
I watched it. I hated
Okay.
it.
All right.
It's
I
like
thought it was
They took
such
John
a-
Goodman and made me hate him. So like,
What?
Yeah.
He's Pop.
He's Pop.
yeah,
He's Pop's
Yeah.
Racer.
So, first off,
Okay.
Speed Racer is a weird movie to adapt because the show was so weird in the first place. It was like this.
How is it weird?
It was
it
in-
was just
in
it
the
was just
anime realm, it's
straight
okay.
up anime show. Yeah.
In a very an anime show with a Americanized sensibility.
That's because you're talking about the dubbing. It was still in Japanese. Yeah.
It was, I mean, yes, I suppose so. It took me a while to get used to Speed Racer because that was also my first exposure to like Japanese and anime in
Okay,
general.
right.
So it like, the whole like,
Yeah, all the
all
exclamation.
the beads of sweat hanging in the air.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the mainstay
Yeah,
of
but
of
once you
anime,
get
yeah.
used to that
Yeah.
and you go like, all right, this is like, these are the kind of tropes they use.
So
it's
was
still
Speed
a fun
Racer
show.
the first anime show you've seen then? Because most anime
In
shows
life,
do this,
yes.
yeah. Oh, it was. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Not
because,
like
I
Ninja
mean-
Robots or something like that. Like because there were a bunch of those shows happening at the same time.
No.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
watched
yeah, I
Mowgli,
feel like-
the Shinyan Mowgli.
Yes.
The Japanese Jungle
I
Book
felt
show.
like Speed
Yeah.
Racer was before all of these though. At least
It was pretty old.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I feel like it.
It
came
used to
before
air
that.
right after Dexter's Lab, where
Which is so funny because Dexter's Lab spoofs Speed Racer. in one of its
exactly yes.
episodes.
and,
Very well.
And Dexter's Lab is such a like postmodern kind of cartoon
is, yeah.
as opposed to like a very traditional
Yeah,
anime
yeah.
like Speed Racer. But anyway, to get to Speed Racer the movie, I thought it did like so much interesting stuff, and I feel like it
Amazing.
was hated just because it was
Yeah.
so over the top and ridiculous
You know,
and
yeah.
unfairly so. Like, if you accept that, hey, maybe this won't be a cool racing movie, but just a weird, like, quirky
But
little
it
movie by
is.
itself.
Oh, but it is.
Yeah.
It's a great racing movie as well. But, okay, off the bat, if you describe the movie to a layman, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy called Speed Racer.
Yeah, his name is Speed
He's
Racer.
not a
Yeah.
fast guy. His name is Speed Racer. He
Yeah.
has an elder brother called Rex Racer.
Rex Racer.
Who might just be X Racer or
Racer
Racer
X.
X.
Racer
Yeah.
X.
His mom is called Mom and his dad is called Pops.
Pops. Yeah.
So, the monkey. There
Yeah.
is a monkey called Chim Chim.
Chim Chim.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like
So
classic.
it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But embrace that. It embraces like its entire over the topness, which I love.
Yeah.
So my game changer of a scene, which I loved the moment I saw it, and
Okay.
up till that point I was like, this movie's kind of fun. But what changed it for me was the final race.
No, dude, the final race
That
is
final race
amazing.
is spectacular.
It
It's
is
one of the
so
best
good.
set pieces you will see.
And here's the thing: there was not a single car made for this film, right? Like because the way they made it like much akin to like Sky Captain, World of Tomorrow. It was
Yeah.
all green screen, and I think this is one of the most. It's so
yeah.
unique. I've never seen a movie like this.
So, you know how we often talk about how VFX doesn't sell a movie anymore because how much cooler can you make things look?
Yeah.
I think Speed Racer is the answer. Like, what I love about the VFX there is they're not going for realism.
Yeah, they're
They're not
definitely
like,
not.
how in your face realistic can we make this dragon? They're going like, what if we have the power to do anything we want. So let's do something like fantastic.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
sense of like fantasy. But also fantastic in the sense of like, that was awesome.
yeah, no, it was amazing.
That-
I
like,
still
that
So
see
yeah,
movie
most of
is-
these things work for me, and
Yeah.
there's a point where like the plot rather becomes very see-through. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
in terms of story that carries the movie
Sure.
for me.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty standard
Yeah,
plot.
it's not.
actually.
It's
Yeah.
not even a. I think the movie is like a visual movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's not enough to carry the whole thing for me. Like
Okay.
I've watched it in bits and pieces, and that too, like in very segmented bits and pieces.
Okay.
So like I watched one entire movie already. I watch a lot of movies like that, but this movie has been
In
just like
bits.
in bits and pieces. So I don't even remember the final race right now. I don't think.
Dude, it's the race where
Maybe I should watch
Speed
it.
Racer decides to like he becomes a Neo at the end where
Pretty
he just like he understands the force. I don't know how to explain it, but like he basically understands the way to race like invincibly, and he does it, and like the way they show people, my heart was like here, man. It was so good. It was amazing. I really like that.
Man, I wish more movies employed such a unique style. Not
Yeah,
enough do
unique.
it. Like maybe like the closest movie I can think of that has such a unique visual language is maybe Scott Pilgrim.
Yes,
But then Scott
definitely.
Pilgrim was loved. And this
Yeah.
movie was hated, which is a
How? I
bummer.
don't understand.
Like
Because
it's
it had a
relentless.
very strong character. Like
True,
in terms
yeah.
of
It
Yeah,
had
it
a
was
very,
way more modern, yeah.
Yeah, it was way more modern. It didn't have this like ridiculously simple
Because
story.
while the characters are over the top, they don't have much to do. Like, they don't have an arc for them, you know? Like that's why John Goodman was ruined for me, because he's just like, oh, what are you doing? Like that
He
kind
Fred
of...
Flintstone did.
It is
Which he already did before.
Yeah. Yeah.
which I also think is kind of interesting that
Yeah.
the Wachowskis went so they had such a clear vision. I mean,
Yeah, so clear.
no one acts normal in this movie. Everyone's just like,
Yeah, everyone has
"Oh,
been directed to do that.
to be that
Yeah.
over the top."
Like, especially, what's her name? The actress, Christina Ricci?
Yeah.
Dude, she's so good in this, man. She's a
She's
great
good.
actress, and like she just nails it in this role. And she's just like, everyone's perfect. Like, they look like anime characters. It was perfect.
Even the villain, what's his name? I forget.
That guy, he's in the
Royalton.
Royalton, yeah. Oh my god.
And he's Mr.
He's
Royalton.
so good.
Yeah.
That one scene where he's like, "Do you have what it takes to be a real racer?" I love that. That was so good. And
Is Armie Hammer in the movie, right? Is the older brother?
no, that's Matthew Fox
No,
from Lost.
yeah.
Yeah. I really love
Oh
this
yeah,
movie.
he's got that generic like white guy.
Yeah.
So
But dude, Racer X arguably one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, again.
He's just cool, man. Like he's
He's
just
so
awesomely cool. All right, let's take a break and we'll come back talk about some more unfairly maligned films.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground. But there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Kirsch Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app.
hey, welcome back to the Geek Fruit podcast. We attempted a couple of speed racer-ish intros and we did not do them well.
Yeah. And if I may continue my segue from the last one. So we spoke about Speed Racer. Actually, it's funny. You were speaking about Transformers. And then I remember you also mentioned Armageddon. And I think the reason why that is because of Michael Bay, right? So Michael Bay makes these films which people love to hate.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why they become unfairly maligned, even though Armageddon was a good popcorn flick, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when
Yeah.
it first came out, it was still like a big deal, right?
Yeah, it was huge. And then like over time people found out, wait, Michael Bay sucks. You
He's
know?
doing the same explosions over and over again.
So I think it's a director's trait almost. And that's why I want to continue with the Wachowskis, because I think a lot of the work that they've done has been unfairly maligned.
It actually
And I would
is.
like to bring up The Matrix Revolutions as a
I thought we were
film.
going to say Jupiter Ascending. And
Well, no.
Also Jupiter
wait,
Ascending
Jupiter,
was-
Sense8, man. Like
Oh,
it got
I love
cancelled.
Sense8.
Yeah, so it got
They
cancelled
cancelled, I know.
and now it's back again.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's back?
Yeah, they
I think
won
that
the
is
petition.
coming for one like episode, I think. Not really. Like,
Or whatever it is, they got it back because of
Yeah,
fans,
yeah.
which
Who,
proves
Netflix?
my point. Yes,
Huh.
that the Wachowskis have a Cloud Atlas, which is on my list, but I won't talk about it because I'll talk about Matrix. But Cloud Atlas is one of my favorite films. Like, at least, I mean, I really enjoyed it, and again, just really, I thought the ideas in that movie were really cool. And do you know what? It's an epistolary like film, and epistolary is basically a book that is written in the form of letters,
Yeah.
right? And or documents and stuff like that. And the book itself for Cloud Atlas, I guess we're talking about Cloud Atlas now, but like the book is written as like half journals. Like basically you read a person's journal, and from a really long time ago. I don't know if you've seen this movie though.
I have.
You have seen it. Okay, you haven't.
No.
So basically, that story kind of ends like halfway, and the next is a journal based on a person who has read that and is writing about.
This is
her
the one that
person's
jumps
life.
around in time and Tom Hanks has a goatee.
Everyone, so all the entire cast, Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Hugh
Jim
Grant,
Sturgis.
Jim Sturgis.
yes.
They basically play multiple characters in
I
the
really
film at
like,
different
I
timelines.
think Jim Sturgis is one of the most underrated actors of this generation. Like he,
You mean Paul McCartney?
yeah,
he plays
Basically,
Jude.
yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, that striking resemblance
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that early Across the Universe. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's
yeah.
it.
Oh, Jim Sturgis is great. All right.
He
So
cool.
anyway, so Cloud Atlas, again, a movie underrated. The Matrix Revolutions, though. Now, this one had a lot of hype going for it, and obviously people felt let down, which is why it's so unfairly maligned. But I just think, how can you do that to one of what I consider to be the greatest science fiction movies, like, or at least the trilogy
The
of
trilogy,
all time.
yes.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Only because I think it was the first in our generation which kind of changed the game, VFX wise obviously, story wise in a huge way, and character wise gave us some of the most memorable people in cinema history of all time, right?
Yeah.
And ties
it
it together.
changed Keanu Reeves forever for us.
Yeah, exactly. And
He
Keanu
was
Reeves,
not like, yeah, man.
yeah, he's become this. He's forever now this dark anti-hero that he played Constantine. He's played John Wick.
Wick.
I mean, he's been in a bunch of these films where he's just played this dark anti-hero, all because
It's
of
like a
Neo.
Pokemon
played,
transformation, right?
yeah,
Like,
he's
from
evolved.
Neo, Constantine, and now John Wick.
Which is
He
funny
also
because
played sad
Neopets also. Neopets is also a thing. Sorry, go ahead.
He also played Sad Keanu, which was a pretty dark role.
Yeah.
Yeah, short.
That is like...
Yeah, but
But-
and he was
okay.
also the voice of Keanu in Keanu.
Was he?
he has a bit of a cameo in it. Yeah.
Like he's the voice of the cat.
No, in a dream sequence. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm yet to watch the movie.
That's good. It's nice.
Keanu? Yeah,
Key
even
and
I.
Peele.
It's funny.
Yes.
It's funny.
To get back to Revolutions, tell me one thing: was
Yeah.
it hated when it came
wa-
out?
it
Because
was-
I
it
feel
was a
like
huge
both
letdown,
Reloaded and Revolutions have been retconned into being hated. Like I don't remember like negative reactions when these movies came out.
Right.
But now, whenever I hear anyone talk about them or read anything about them, they're like, "Well, the
I think
sequels
they,
suck," and
I
we
think
all
they
know
look
that.
upon it. I think in the beginning they were just like, so much energy. It was just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and right through till the end. Because remember 2003, it was June Matrix Reloaded and November Matrix
Yes.
Revolutions. Something I've still not seen happen
That quickly, right?
so quickly.
But they shot
they
back
shot
to
them
back.
as one movie.
As one movie. I mean, the attempting they did it with Harry Potter, but again, the releases were staved by like a year, between the
Same
films.
with Back to the Future.
And back, yeah, really?
They shot
Yeah.
the last...
Of
few
course,
movies.
yeah, the last
the
two
second
movies,
two together.
Yeah.
Kill Bill also.
Kill Bill also another film.
Which
that
I think Kill Bill came out like 6 months apart or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was volume 1, volume 2.
not
Yeah.
6
Pretty
months
close.
apart though.
It was like a year apart.
Yeah,
A year apart?
So that's
Yeah,
the thing. I've not seen a movie which is come out in the same year.
Like within the same year.
Yeah, and they dubbed that year the year of the Matrix and everything.
Yeah.
Everyone was so pumped. In fact, that was the first film I remember staying post the credits, like Reloaded, because there was a rumor saying that Revolution's trailer is in it, and it was there, and it blew everybody's mind. Oh my god, it was so good. But yeah, just to come back to Revolutions, I think it was hated, because there was a lot riding on it. Because the first two, I think a lot of people loved it because it was an action thriller and a science fiction piece, and
Yeah.
but I think the movies kind of moved more towards these cerebral kind of like thoughts and philosophical stuff. The Upanishads in the soundtrack and all that. But it was very like it was very,
Trancy.
it was like super Vedantic and
Tech
like
trance.
it really was that. And I think because we got to that main battle, there was no way they were gonna not fail. Because some of the fight scenes were so cool in Reloaded, and Reloaded I still think is a great film. Revolutions does have its moments where it's amazing, like, really, really good. One of them for me, and this is my game changer for this movie, is when Agent Smith comes out of the Matrix and into the real world, when he takes upon the consciousness of this one guy who's aboard the same ship. And the guy who plays that guy, like playing Agent Smith, does the best Hugo Weaving like I've ever seen, because he was Agent Smith, but in another body. Like, if I've ever seen consciousness being like transcended and then put into another being, that was the one. It was so good, and he is also responsible for. This is spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, but like he blinds Neo, and like Neo becomes like this, mythic hero, and like. I feel like that transition happens in that moment, and and that deal that is struck between the machines and the humans to rid Agent Smith from the system is fantastic. I love that movie, and I think it was the most epic ending I've ever seen, right? Like, because you get the hero's death. That's something that people wanted a lot from. I remember the Harry Potter saga. They were like, Harry has to die, and that would make it so much more meaningful. But like, Harry doesn't die because, he's a hero. And
Like, technically he does, but then... comes back.
Exactly. But that's a cop out, right? Like,
Trope.
it's not a cop out as much as
Wait,
it's
when does Harry die?
he dies like basically he
Voldemort, Avada Kedavra.
Oh, yeah.
and then
Okay,
basically
cool.
he loses
Yeah.
the Horcrux. in
Barely,
him.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
to
he has
King's
this chat
Cross.
with
Yeah.
Dumby.
Yeah.
And then comes back.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. But in this they kill off the hero, man, which is so like. It was like, amazing, he's dead. It was like the greatest spoiler ever. But
Yeah.
like, and you know what I love? Everyone dies in this. And like, except Morpheus. And I felt so bad, like, because this guy, there's that one scene also, there's another scene which just like, I feel like feels now, man. It's that last time that Morpheus and Neo like meet. and it's like this elevator, and he's just like, I have to go to the source and see what I can do there. And Morpheus is trying to lead the charge, at Zion. And that elevator, those doors shut, and they just look at each other, and dude, that broke my heart, man. It was awesome.
Did it not have like a great feeling of closure? It was
It was
a
perfect.
tight trilogy.
Yeah, it was very tight. And I think there's a lot of catharsis in it. I mean, it was great. I think the movie was unfairly judged, and I think it was a good movie.
Fun fact, while I lived in Pune, I had like a regular rickshaw guy who looked exactly like Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, my cousin looks like my brother-in-law Chetan looks exactly like Lawrence Fishburne.
I have an uncle
Lawrence Fishburne is the kind of person who could be very close to like an Indian face. Maybe.
Yeah,
Perhaps it's
my uncle looks like the Boys in the Hood, Lawrence Fishburne, like the younger one.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Longer arms.
I don't know if you guys have watched John Wick, one of the
I
best
have
films
not.
this year. The sequel, Chapter 2.
Yeah,
have you seen Chapter 2?
No, I haven't seen one.
What?
We've been over this.
Oh, yeah,
I have been
It
hated on
amazes me
for
every time.
Dude, that movie, those two movies, like the sequel is even better.
Even better.
Yeah.
Really?
And I don't want to spoil, I mean, it's not a spoiler, but Lawrence Fishburne is in as a major character in John Wick 2, and then they meet. It's so awesome. I just wanted to point that out.
And then he does the whole you have a choice option line again.
Yeah,
in
something like
as
that.
a callback.
There's great homages in this.
Yeah.
in
To
this
The
film.
Matrix?
Yeah,
because
it's great.
Morpheus
Because
and
both of
Neo
them.
are
Yeah, it's great. And the lines are so loaded that you can just like take anything you want from it. Like it's
Dude,
it's
Common
great.
is in the movie. Ian McShane is in the movie.
Yeah,
What else do
they're
you
all
know?
dude.
Yeah.
That ending. Sorry, I won't even.
Good.
But yeah,
There's a
I
part
will
three
report
coming
back
as well.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I'll watch Atomic Blonde now-ish, and then I'll go back and watch the John Wicks.
Yeah.
And then let's compare notes.
John
on all
Wicks.
Yes.
The
No, I
Wicks,
think,
comma,
Indian,
John. John Wicks.
I also want to watch Atomic Blonde now.
You wanna go tonight?
No,
we're making a plan right
We're
now.
making
I have a gig in Vashi of all places.
Look at this guy.
Amazing.
Look at this guy. all right.
See you like, in 2 weeks then.
Okay. Say Vashi. So was that a Vashi joke? All right. Next film. So we spent a lot of time making Matrix. I'm sorry. I love it so
That's
much.
the thing. Once you start talking about these movies, you feel the urge to defend.
Yeah.
You can't stop.
All right. Next, Naveen.
Okay,
Wanna go
next
for it?
up, Superman Returns.
Wow.
That was
good one.
Good
Yes.
one. Because I was very close to doing Batman versus Superman at some point in this thing, but I think we'll keep this film as this. I feel like this one's more relevant, yeah, because that's too recent, I
Correct.
suppose. Yeah, Superman Returns. Go.
Some great performances in this. Kevin
Really?
Spacey
Kevin
comes,
Spacey, okay.
comes out as obviously the best. Everybody in the movie, like even Brandon Routh, I think gave it all he had in terms
Yeah.
of like he was.
I thought he was a pretty good Superman.
He was very new,
Yeah.
and like they obviously chose him because he's the closest that they would get to Reeves, you know, like so
Yeah.
they're like, okay, let's discuss this guy.
Yeah.
But he really gave it all he had. Like
Yeah.
even that scene in the end where like he's dying and the kryptonite all over his body,
Yeah.
like that was a game changing scene for me because he's Supermaning so hard towards the end. And I'm like, this guy is really trying, guys. Like, just,
So I think a few things let that movie down, right?
pacing is one of them.
I mean, sure.
definitely-
Yeah, it's a fairly long film, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So there was that. I think the other thing. So how are you on this film? Do you
I
like
quite liked it.
You liked it
when it came out? Yes.
I'm quite on the fence about it.
I didn't
I didn't hate it.
blow
Like-
my mind, love it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I was very far from hating it. I quite enjoyed it.
Okay.
But,
So
yeah.
here's my problem with when Superman Returns came out, and it was dubbed Superman Returns, which is they're still trying to say that they kind of retconned the 3 and 4 Quest for Peace and all,
Yeah.
and they said this is right after 2, and they said this is now Superman coming back after a long period of time when he had gone home to
Yeah.
Krypton to see what would have happened and stuff,
hiatus.
and he came back. And so I really was hoping for what they So basically, Superman Returns is on one end of the spectrum, and Superman Man of Steel is on the other end, right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see a villain like Zod, but which was and not a film where the villain is Kryptonite and Lex Luthor, right? Lex Luthor is the greatest villain, but he has to have more than one plan than just Kryptonite. Because I remember this joke, I think it was How It Should Have Ended, and they were just like, hey, in Superman 1 it's Kryptonite, Superman 2 it's Kryptonite, in Superman Returns it's a mountain of Kryptonite. And literally that's it, an island of
In
Kryptonite.
Superman 3, it is evil Superman.
Yeah, it's
Which
Bizarro.
he gets what? Is
That-
it Kryptonite madness?
Something like that,
Yeah,
essentially.
it's
Yeah.
something
But,
BVS,
but you see that.
right,
No, Zod was great. I mean, what's his name? It's Terence
Terence
Stamp?
Terence
Yeah,
Stamp.
Yes.
great actor, amazing
Australian,
actor.
yeah.
And he did a great job as Zod. And I was looking for a villain that Superman could fight, like could be matched, like physically, because that's what I thought with the effects that are now present in 2006 at that time, we would have seen more
It's from
of that.
2006, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
We would have seen a lot of that, and we just didn't. And you know what? We were fresh off, I think, Batman Begins also, which had like such a great, a level of, complexity when it came to the hero that I was looking for that in this
But the
film. I
hype was
think
very
we just-
different for both of the
Are you
movies.
sure
Like
you have this
Batman
timeline
Begins
right? Superman Returns came out after Batman Begins?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Batman Begins.
2005 Batman Begins, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Huh.
2005.
Or at least they were in the same. I will check this.
Yeah,
right now,
I
but
think
yeah.
you're right. They were very close to each other. But okay,
Yeah.
here's a theory.
What is your game
What if
changer
you
about?
switch?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, yeah. Give us your game changer, then I'll pitch my theory.
So while I think the overall plot itself explores so much about the character, I agree that the tropes are again common, but
Right.
every movie, Superman is the ultimate guy. How do you finish him? How do you kill him?
How do you deal with the guy?
And so they went inwards. I saw a lot of like inward contemplation with him with regards to
His son, this whole family drama.
thing. Yeah, with Lois being now with James Marsden, who's just amazing also in this movie. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
comes
love
out towards
James.
it.
I think, sorry, if we're talking about unfairly or underrated, James Marsden
In
single-handedly
life is
one
an
of the
underrated
most
guy.
underrated
Yeah.
actors of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, he was in 27 Dresses.
Yeah,
And
yes.
sang Benny and the Jets
He's the
on-
only
And
yeah,
he
on
hit it
the
with Benny
on
and
the
the
top of the
Jets.
bar.
Yeah.
I know this. The movie was terrible, but he was good.
Correct. So, I think they played the characters out very well, and I had justification for why, in the end, they would care so much about him dying.
Right.
Why Lois would want to go back, and why they would really, as a unit, give a damn about this man who's. Like basically nothing can happen to him.
Yeah.
But he is very vulnerable at this point because
Yeah,
not
yeah.
only is he shattered from the outside because of all these bad guys.
Correct.
Like Lex Luthor would not quit. He's like just like at this point you can see the frustration in Brandon Routh's face. He's like, I've been doing this for a while with you now. Like
Yeah.
can we just get it over with? But he's still like, no, I have to bring you down. And that kind of
Yeah.
him Lex Luthor being this relentless bastard is what brings Kevin Spacey's character out for me.
No, that's true.
And then he's after his love life also, and then it gets personal for him, right? Then it's like, okay, whatever happens to Lois, her life is her life, but you get to her personally, I will finish you. And then he
Yeah.
comes back and he gets very angry at him.
Also, I did enjoy Kate Bosworth.
Kate Bosworth.
As Lois. I thought she was good.
Yeah.
She was fine.
I thought she was a good Lois Lane, generally.
Yeah, like Amy Adams does not do it for me.
I mean,
at
no
all.
one will ever be able to beat
Amy-
Terry Hatcher, but
Yeah.
just saying.
But she fills the shoes very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall great casting.
Yeah.
Promising in terms of what it
Yeah, it was promising. It didn't work. It didn't work out at the box office.
But I
believe.
have
Then
watched
they
it like
can be
5
in-
times and I really enjoyed.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it since
I've seen it
came
maybe
out.
twice. I catch it on television, like at least when I'm
Warner Brothers
in
has
hotel
a
rooms,
channel
I
on
think, yeah.
TV, right?
Yeah.
So Warner Brothers just plays Superman Returns every week.
Oh yeah.
And you
Sometimes.
catch it every week when it happens.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Good
This
call.
is how Brandon Routh got cast. He was at a Halloween party and he was wearing a suit and it was just the buttons were open and he wore a Superman shirt inside and somebody saw him and he was just like, hey, you should try auditioning for the Superman film. And
Huh.
boom. That's how it
Yeah.
happened, yeah. And
I kind of
it's a
feel-
Halloween outfit even I've tried also.
Whenever I see Brandon Routh on Arrow, I'm like, man, what a bummer. He was poised to be like a giant star
Yeah.
just before Superman Returns came
And
out.
yeah.
And now he's second stringer on a pretty shitty TV show.
No, and
But he had a
there's a
bunch
Superman
of-
on that show also. I mean, like, now there's
Yeah.
Superman on Supergirl.
Yeah.
And he's great, by the way. I really liked him.
Tyler Hoechlin? Is
Yeah,
that him?
yeah, he's good. Like, I think he was quite
He's
funny.
very nice.
And,
He's
like,
very Reevesian again.
Yeah, he was great.
Which
and I like
again,
that.
like Brandon Routh must be looking at them going like, what did I do wrong,
Yeah, what did I
guys?
do wrong? Not his fault.
Did you know Brandon Routh was in one Hindi movie as well with Akshay Kumar?
No.
Yes.
He
What
was-
was
No,
this?
I don't believe you.
This is one movie with Kareena
where
Kapoor.
Akshay Kumar is a stunt coordinator
Stunt
in
coordinator.
Hollywood.
It's a Sajid Nadiawala movie.
Yes.
I don't remember the name of
We're
this
going to
movie.
find this out now.
I
Let's
almost
take a
remember
break
the
and when
name.
we come back.
Let's take a short break and
Yeah.
we come back, talk about some more movies and Akshay Kumar.
शून्यवन् 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 शून्यवन्
$1 billion acquisition. Another copycat startup got formed.
No, the tech world in India is surely moving double the speed of this voiceover.
Tune in to Shunya One every Tuesday to catch us talking to the smartest people we know on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Welcome back to the Geek Fruit podcast. We brought up a very important question just before the break, which is name an Akshay Kumar movie that features a Brandon Routh cameo. And the answer is
Incredible Love. which is Kambak-Tishk actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's
for
called
that.
Incredible Love on IMDb. It has a 3.9 out of 10 rating.
Also unfairly maligned, clearly.
Oh no, it's pretty fairly maligned.
And here's a fun fact about this movie's IMDb
There are
page.
fun facts. Okay.
So the fun fact about the IMDb page is that top billed cast is Sylvester Stallone, Dennis Richard,
Yeah.
Brandon Ruth, Whoopi Goldberg, and then Akshay Kumar and Kareena Kapoor.
Oh, God.
So
I
basically,
think all of them were there for like blink and you miss them
yeah,
roles.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Aftab Shivdasani, and this is get worse after this. Javed Jafri is in it.
Oh, God.
Jaffrey.
Javi Jaffe is another podcast episode by himself, man.
he's
honestly.
a unique one.
Yeah, he's a unique one.
A lost genius.
So yeah, that's your fun trivia for the day.
Nice.
Okay. Speaking, I have a fun what if scenario. What if you flip the years Man of Steel and Superman Returns released? Because I feel like when Superman Returns came out, the world was in the mood for this, like, let's go dark and gritty situation.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, for example. And when Man of Steel came out, we could have used like a happy, hey, let's have fun Superman movie, which was kind of what
I don't
Superman
know if it
Returns
would work.
was.
See, I think movies are just... Audiences want more layered stuff, man. I don't think you can just go... Especially with... You know why? Because these are characters... Why Wonder Woman still works, as a film, is because it's... Nobody knows Wonder Woman. We've never had a Wonder Woman film.
Yeah.
Superman and Batman are characters that we've been seeing on television
They have to deal
and
with
on
the legacy.
films like for so long that it's not enough for them to just do your normal adventure of Batman, kick the villain's ass and then go home. That's it. You need more than that. Like for these characters at least, Wonder Woman can still say, "Hey, I'm Wonder Woman. This is who I am," and and then you can go through the main bits of the story. But I think it's very difficult for characters like this to just have a run-of-the-mill story, which is why I prefer Man of Steel, honestly, to most of what DC's done so far, and also to Superman Returns.
But I wonder, what if BVS was not so forced upon us, because obviously Warner Brothers were like, let's just rush this, and DC's like, okay, let's just show on all the lead characters right now in this movie itself. What if they had not done it and they had a standalone sequel for
Man of Steel.
to
They should have. They should have.
Which is I felt that was very unfair, because they actually promoted the movie in the beginning saying it's a sequel
As
to the
a-
Superman movie.
Yeah.
And then
I
there
don't
was
think
this-
the plot itself was right for Batman versus Superman. I mean, I like the battle thing between them, but then you all know it's not gonna be like a Batman vs Superman. It's gonna be and then they would have to have introduced a third villain, which they did, and then just took the movie another 45 minutes in a direction that we just didn't want it to go.
See, here Lex Luthor had nothing to do. He had no character arc in this, no reason to be in this as a villain, and I just don't.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, those are
That's
both
BVS
questionable films.
is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even another podcast episode. It's another lifetime. There's so much to
Dude,
unpack.
I
there.
mean, we have unpacked and unpacked and unpacked for this movie, and you'll still find that Dinkar and I have quite,
we're on the side of this movie.
Yes.
We want to defend it.
We want to
but
defend
there's
it.
a lot of
Yeah.
layers.
There's some things in this movie which are just
You
inexcusable.
were saying people want layers. This has layers.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
discussion around it.
This
It's
is
like
true.
onion, it makes you cry every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, donkey layers. Oh God. Yes. All right. Coming back. All right.
Yeah.
Dinkar, did you have a film?
I did. So before I continue, I want to give honorable mention, a shout out
Yes.
to
I
a
wanted to
movie that I
refuse.
meant to
Yeah.
defend,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3.
Oh, I love it
Dude.
too.
I love it too.
I still love it.
And so I was, I
we
was
should
just
all hold
combing
hands at
through
this
a couple of Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah. Okay.
And Spider-Man 3 is a surprisingly well-reviewed and liked movie, apparently.
by the audience.
It is one of the biggest movies of all time.
It still is.
Yeah.
But everyone hates on Spider-Man 3. It shut down that franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it was a fun movie.
It was too huge. The expectation after Spider-Man 2, it was just going bigger
Spider-Man
and
2
bigger.
was, of course, perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing movie. Like Spider-Man.
But Spider-Man 3 was ridiculed at the time it came out.
Yeah.
And especially
So
the
unfair.
things I really liked about it, like
The
Tobey
team-up?
Maguire dancing on the street.
Yeah, that's my
I thought
favorite
that was
scene.
amazing. That's a game changer scene
That's
if
a
ever there was.
How do people make fun of that? I think that is it was
Such a beautiful character, shift from his original.
and he does a
Exactly.
great
Yeah.
job there, right?
Yeah.
And that scene,
Full of
especially
gods.
when he takes Bryce Dallas Howard to the jazz club just to
mess with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
That is brilliant, man. I thought that was I think that was a really dark kind of thing, and then he punches the waiter, and then he's just like, I don't know what's happening to me, and then he gets out. That's the symbiote suit.
It's so cool.
And I can't stress on how many times I've watched the symbiote leaving his body with the bell tower and falling.
Oh my God, yeah.
I love that's so beautifully done.
Yeah, I think
Hands down,
so
for me that's a game changer.
The thing that really let, I think, a lot of fans down, including me, was Venom. I think that was the problem with that film.
But I love Topher Grace.
Yeah, I love Topher Grace as well. I mean, he's a great actor. I don't think he was... I mean, I thought he was like the cocky guy, you know, he was perfect for that. But when Venom actually showed up and he didn't look like what the comics were doing and like he behaved weirdly, I think it just ruined it, you know? Like,
Maybe.
But the things that I did like about it, though, I loved Thomas Hayden Church as the Sandman, you know, Sandman.
Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman. Keep thinking Neil Gaiman. But yeah, as I liked him as Sandman. I think the story that they gave him a little, emotional angle about his daughter and everything like that. And that scene
made him responsible for...
that was unnecessary.
Bit of a stretch.
But the scene where he transforms into Sandman for the first time, at that point in time was
good, right?
groundbreaking in terms of the visual effects. Amazing.
And it comes almost at the top of the movie, right?
Yeah. Fantastic scene. Really, really good. And I thought that was really a good arc. I even like the Harry Osborn arc because obviously I love James Franco. But I mean, I love that scene and the fight when they're in his house and... Spider-Man basically kicks his ass and then he throws this pumpkin bomb at him and then he just swings it back at him with that rage.
Really nice.
It was awesome, dude. It was amazing.
Here's my one problem with Spider-Man 3. It started that trend of let's throw in multiple villains into a movie.
That's true.
Which is not its fault because I still think they kind of nailed it.
Batman Begins did it as well.
No.
Yeah, of course it did. It had two villains.
Who?
It had Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul.
I totally forgot about Scarecrow being
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, but he's like a
But
sub and
Scarecrow
Carmine
became
Falcone.
annoyance on the side. It's just like mosquito.
And Carmine
Scarecrow
Falcone.
and Falcone both became you're right.
But they're still very underplayed
But they did it
characters.
well.
They did it really
handled
well.
so well.
Absolutely, yeah. So, a similar strategy to what Spider-Man 3 did. They kind of negated the big villains and turned it into...
Yeah, but one of my favorite scenes, the chase between Harry Osborn on the glider and Spider-Man through the with the wedding, with his engagement ring.
Yeah, to the back alleys of the...
Fantastic scene. I remember watching, man, that blew my mind. I'm sorry, it was really good.
Then he goes into coma and then he has memory loss.
And then he becomes James Franco.
Yeah. James Franco today.
Oh my God, it was so funny. It was, I thought it was great. I mean, the last thing also that I think that brings it down is that little scene between James Franco's butler, where he says, I've been trying to tell you for so long, but Spider-Man saved your father. Your father was impaled by his own sword. And I was just like, it took you 3 movies to do this? Oh my God, that bummed me out.
But probably because, Willem Dafoe was probably hiding in the mirrors, freaking that old guy out as well.
Yeah.
For all you know, it's just
but Willem Dafoe also, man.
Yeah.
There was an article, I just saw the headline, didn't click it. It said, we need to take a moment to appreciate the face of Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, we'll never have that goblinish... I don't even know why he wore the mask in the first one. I was paint some green on him is scary enough.
He's amazing.
He's a gargoyle in himself.
Yeah.
In fact, he's great in John Wick as well.
Yeah.
He's in John Wick as well?
Yeah.
Man, okay. I will watch this movie and report back. But anyway, so Spider-Man 3 was an honorable mention of mine because apparently it's not hated.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
But that's because we're nerds. And I think if you ask the
it's
general
a
populace...
very small general consensus. Not everybody will be on board.
It's 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. Of all the movies I looked up, it was the only one that was fresh.
And I have the last reason why that movie's amazing.
Yeah.
Credit song, Signal Fire by Snow Patrol.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me that wasn't a winner. The moment I heard that song, I almost I started feeling so sad. I was just like, it had a pretty bittersweet ending, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't end up proposing to her and he's just like, I'm not ready for this. And they just dance and then...
Which I thought was also great.
What a great ending, man.
Because they were planning the 4th movie as well at that point.
Yeah, but
it's open-ended.
Man, it's such a shame they shut down that franchise.
Yeah, man. I mean, say whatever you want against Tobey. He's my Spider-Man, dude. He was the first Spider-Man I got to see.
And he was a hero.
Yeah, he was a good Spidey, man. I think he was a great Spidey. I mean, Peter Parker, but I think he was fine. Honestly, I think he was fine. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, since we talked about this a bunch, I will let's move on to yours.
Well, I have a bunch here, and then
what was it otherwise? I want to know what was it otherwise.
Batman Forever.
So I have Batman Forever here on my list, but I also have. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, now that we have we're coming towards the end of the episode, I'm gonna name some honorable mentions for my side as well. Green Hornet.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I thought
enjoyed
that
the
movie
movie.
was perfectly fine.
I thought so too.
Why was it hated?
I don't know.
Because Seth Rogen basically like nailed
I think it was that time where everyone was hating on Seth Rogen. Maybe
Yeah.
then.
Because he was still like a knocked up character in that movie.
I think it was
But
fine.
that's
That was
the
a funny
idea,
part
right?
of
But
it.
we enjoyed that because we
even
know
like
him.
the quirky stuff, like it was Seth Rogen and Mikhail Gondry.
Yeah.
It's such a weird combo.
Amazing, yeah.
And I thought they nailed like that Seth Rogenish humor
Yeah.
and the Mikhail Gondryish quirkiness.
Yeah.
So I
No,
don't know
I think
why.
I think it was a perfectly fine film.
And
Kato
who was
great.
Kato?
It was Jay Cho.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Cool.
I think that settles it.
Great memory bank of names.
Yes, we're really good at that. Another movie which I think was unfairly maligned, but I really liked, has nothing to do with what we do. Along Came Polly. Sorry, just saying. Just putting it out
This is your Morgan Freeman one, no?
there. No.
Then what?
It was...
Even I thought it was the Morgan Freeman movie for a second.
Oh, is that Along Came a Spider?
yeah, no, I'm talking about Along Came Polly with Jennifer Aniston and Ben Stiller.
Oh yeah, that's an okay
I haven't
movie.
watched
And Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Where
He works in
Yeah,
risk management.
Correct. I remember it vaguely.
Sorry, this has nothing to do with
It was
what
a
we
decent
talk-
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, if we're going wide with this, there are so many.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to... And
Yeah.
other honorable
enough.
mention is Transcendence. Wally Pfister's directorial debut, which got trashed.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. I thought it was alright. I didn't think it was
It
great.
was very basic. It was like...
No, but there were some interesting ideas, and I think because it's Wally Pfister, it was shot really well, man. Like, it was really nicely done. Alright, let's come down to the final two, if you will. Batman Forever and The Hulk.
Both
Both
unfairly
movies.
hated.
Now, which one?
Hulk.
I think Hulk more than Batman Forever, because the Hulk is a serious attempt at like a really kind of... There was a vision there. Batman Forever was
all
kind
over
of
the place.
becoming this... it was the first in the Joel Schumacher... I love Batman Forever.
Yeah.
My favorite Batman
Yeah.
movie. Always will be.
Of course.
Yeah. It will forever be my favorite Batman
And
film.
I still think one of the coolest Batmobiles.
I had it. Like the
Oh, the
model,
die?
yeah.
Ooh.
No, you had to make it like the piece by piece,
Yeah,
the
I
sticky
remember that.
stuff. Yeah,
Huh.
that, and it had Val Kilmer,
Yeah.
and it had Nicole Kidman, who I
And
love.
Jim
so.
Carrey, guys.
and Jim
And Jim
Carrey,
Carrey.
and Tommy Lee Jones, and Chris O'Donnell.
It's a pretty
What was
stellar
happening?
cast.
It was amazing. I don't care. I still quote a lot of lines from that film, like "I'm coming, my sweet." Like that was one of my favorites. And then just like the last riddle where he says,
Which was what?
"I have a riddle for you." And he's like, tell me. And he just goes like, "I see without seeing. To me, darkness is as clear as daylight. What am I?" And then Jim Carrey goes, "Why, you're as blind as a bat." And then he goes, "Exactly." And then he
That
throws
was-
this amazing
this was-
batarang.
Let me get
Thank you.
audible claps. That
Thank
was
you.
spectacular.
Thank you. It's one of my favorites, guys.
Batman Forever, a one-man show by Tejas Menon.
Oh my god! I would
buy
do
tickets
it.
for that.
I would do it like at the drop of a hat.
You
Oh my
have
gosh.
2 seats booked already.
Done. Let's
Oh
do this.
god, it'll be like Emma Stone in like La La Land. Oh god. Anyway, but coming back,
The Hulk.
the Hulk.
The Anglese Hulk.
Anglese
which
Hulk.
is a weird one. It's canon in the MCU still, but it's been abandoned. It's like it is canon.
It's canon because they don't reference it in the. Do they? Is it canon?
Yeah, technically, Mark Ruffalo is...
No. Mark Ruffalo is a continuation of
Edward Norton's.
the Incredible Hulk. So they retconned the whole...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But is it retcon? So here's why.
Oh, man, yes.
Because in Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk, they don't really negate anything that's happened, do they?
No, so the whole point, they pick up after the fact that it's become the Hulk in this one.
Because exactly. Because I
Yes.
see in the credits they cleverly kind of do the origin story in the credits itself.
Yeah, so
and I
there's-
just felt like if they didn't really say so, it might as well be.
But it's not a continuation. For as long as I've been
The
aware-
Incredible Hulk was basically a reboot of the Hulk?
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah,
entirely
but-
new
one?
Hulk altogether
Yeah.
because in 2008 was when they started planning the whole MCU universe.
Right.
And that's
When they bought back the licenses,
Right. So the Iron Man was there with them. But at that point, Edward Norton didn't want to play the character anymore.
But coming back, Ang Lee's Hulk.
Yes.
I really liked it. I think Eric Bana was perfect. I think I love Jennifer Connelly generally in life. The who was a villain? Not Christoph. No, what was Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte, the father. Yeah.
They're very interchangeable. I feel okay, but Nick
Even
Nolte.
Sam Elliott with them.
Huh?
Sam Elliott also is very interchangeable with them. He's the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's weird.
Kelly.
Yeah, so Nick Nolte plays a villain. He plays his father. And now why I think a lot of people didn't enjoy it as much is because they made it was a very family-driven story, because they first of all changed the thing where they said that Eric Bana already had something in his blood that basically when he was exposed to the gamma radiations when it started the conversion, right?
Yeah.
Because Nick Nolte kind of messed around because he was a scientist, and then he just becomes AWOL and things like that. So I think the story was a little convoluted, but I think it was fine. Things that I definitely loved about this film: Ang Lee's vision to make it look like a comic book.
Yeah.
Like the editing, he did a
panel
multicam
work,
setup for this thing, and so how the scenes kind of cut between each other made it look like panels. I think that was great. I thought Ang Lee playing the Hulk was also great. And a big criticism of the movie was that they said, oh, the Hulk's character doesn't look real. It looks like 2D, looks like a cartoon. I thought it was perfect, man.
It was pretty bad though.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was
It doesn't
great.
stand up like now.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Go back
feel-
and look at it.
I don't
It's
know
like
why.
very green and pasty. It looks.
I think, in my mind, that seemed more realistic to me than the Incredible Hulk. Now, the stuff which they're doing with the Hulk with Mark Ruffalo looks pretty realistic, because it looks like Mark
It's
Ruffalo.
pretty much Mark Ruffalo,
Yeah,
yeah.
but he's the first actor to kind of do the mocap for it. But that one, I don't know why. I just thought that was great, man. Like I thought it was
don't
awesome.
remember it being.
You know,
I
they
mean, I
made the
haven't
face
seen
of
it.
the first Hulk by like mixing Eric Bana with the actress and with Ang Lee and all of them mixed together, kind of. They used 3-4 faces as
Really?
reference points for
Oh,
the
really?
Hulk? Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
Somewhere I read this, I remember.
But he was like they made the model off of their faces.
Yeah, like a bunch of like, you know, if you bring a lot of average of faces together, what
Oh,
you get?
you'll get that.
That kind of thing.
Dude, but
Interesting.
I remember looking at it and I thought it was awesome, man. Like, yeah, maybe it doesn't hold up.
Even the jumps that he does are like very cartoony, like
Yeah,
boing,
they-
boing. kind of.
I loved it. I'm sorry. I really,
It's a
really
great
liked it.
movie. I don't remember the visual effects being particularly standout.
Like you would imagine a guy like Hulk jumping from one point to another and creating bigger craters than the guy.
Yeah.
Just
He
like
kind
he's
of
just touching it
bounces
and
from place to
His
place.
crouching dragon tiger, whatever that is.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden
Crouching
Dragon.
tiger, hidden dragon.
Yeah. I mean, I still enjoyed the hell out of the film.
Yeah,
I think it was great.
It's a great movie.
And I think there was a vision there that we'll never get to see in the Marvel universe, because it's very,
It was-
homogenized now.
Yeah.
But like the vision that they had for that character and the loneliness and the pathos that they were trying to create I think it came across quite well.
That ending theme, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Like you could still hear it and go like, sad.
yeah. And then that fight in the clouds, that was a bit bizarre.
That even this guy does. Like when Edward Norton towards the end of the movie, he walks across the bridge in the rains very sadly.
Yeah.
I feel very bad for him. Like all the
That's
time.
the whole point. You have to
Yeah.
feel bad
You
for Bruce
should
Banner.
feel
Yeah,
bad for
yeah.
Hulk.
That's the whole point. But now they've made him like fun, which is fine.
That is
I'm okay
cool.
with it.
Yeah.
I've done my time.
Now
of
he has
feeling bad.
done like some jota with his alter ego.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great, because that's what happens in a big part of the comics, where he can at will convert into the Hulk whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Which I kind of guess they made happen in the Avengers, but yeah.
But I think in Ragnarok he's been Hulk for a while now. He's been just like
Nice.
chilling. Like,
He's not changed back to Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
Nice. That's cool. And I
and
doubt
then,
we'll see a
and
lot
then
of
when
Mark
he comes
Ruffalo.
back to normal, he has smart casuals on, which is just like in space,
Nice.
in some random planet.
Nice.
He has like Alan Solly costume on, like kind of.
Oh, I've not seen any of this.
The trailer.
Oh,
The
yeah?
trailer, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I can't remember.
It's like it's smaller nuances that I noticed.
Oh, okay, sweet.
But nothing too much.
Nice. So,
Hmm.
the Hulk. What was your game changer?
From the Hulk?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, it was, I think his transformation, the first one.
The first
It happens pretty
transformation?
late in the film, but I think it was great. Like, just to see that happen in, like, that time's effects and stuff
Yeah.
like that was cool. Because because you would never see it in the original, the TV Hulk, it was like Lou Ferrigno just appears,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and that's it. But, I mean, I
This
thought
is the
it was
first time the
good.
transformation. And he says, don't make me angry.
Yeah.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah.
And the
That
guy
was
just
cool to
flies
see.
out of the cabin.
Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty
good.
Yeah. Even
So-
the dog fight with the mutant dogs
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pretty
That's a- yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I guess where it's a stretch to defend this one. But I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
Yes, fine. Okay, cool.
All right, cool. So thank you guys for giving in your unfairly maligned films. I think if you guys are listening to this podcast, go check out these movies again. I'm sure you'll find something in them that you didn't see maybe the first time. Like some movies I really wanna, which I have judged harshly, and I think I really want to go back and watch movies like Looper. and things like that. I think we ought to give them a second chance. I still think it's a bad film.
It's a topic for another podcast where we talk about movies that are loved but we hate.
Source Code.
Oh my God! I love that movie actually.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk. Let's talk, Navin.
All right. Let's wrap this one up. Let us know what you guys thought of this episode. Let us know what are your choices for unfairly criticized films for no reason, but actually really good films. You can find us on geekfruit.in. Contact geekfruit@gmail.com and at Geekfruit HQ across all social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Anything else, Dinkar?
No, bye.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Excuse me, भैया. Excuse me.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.